What is going on, Lego Maniacs? It's Tyler Lego Guy here, and yeah, welcome to another Star Wars Lego review. So the set we're looking at is none other than the Sandcrawler from 2018, and that set number 75220 had 1,239 pieces, 6 minifigs, and retailed for $139.99 US. I thought this was also very time appropriate because this set's just retiring, and you might be able to score it at a store if you really want this set, right? Like there's a couple stores that may still carry it. Anyways, pretty interesting model. It is a much smaller than the previous two Sandcrawlers we've got, but we'll get into whether that's a good thing or bad thing, whether this set's still worth buying. Honestly, it's actually a very nice looking set, as you guys can see, but we're gonna get into the positives and negatives of this guy. And yeah, also get into some movie footage just to see how accurate the set is by pictures and whatnot. But yeah, enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start, let's just give you guys a view of the box. So as you guys can see, very nice looking artwork. Has that very Tatooine type look to it. Doesn't have the twin suns in there, which is maybe one thing they could improve on. But all in all, still nice looking. Here it shows all the features, the minifigs, and you know, the Sandcrawler itself all opened up, which we'll get into. It does actually do a very good job at opening up and allowing playability. Anyways, I'm gonna try and do this more in the future just to give you guys, you know, a quick review of the box if I have it. But now let's get into the set itself. And here she is in the background. Before we get into that, I just wanted to center in on the only smaller build that's included in this set. It's actually a nice looking little cart, and we will get into how it can transport stuff. As you can see, there's some nice little canisters on there. But now let's get into the main attraction to this review. And here she is. So to begin, let's give you guys a 360 of this guy. So as you can see, even though it's not nearly as large as the previous two Sandcrawlers, it's still a sizable model. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool looking. So first off, you're gonna notice there's all these treads, and I will say that this was the biggest pain building this set. If you guys were on the live stream, you'll know my pain. Although, I mean, I think they're kind of cool, and what is really cool about this is if you toggle this, it moves the wheels, so you can kind of steer it which way you want, which is great for playability. And you know, I think you could possibly motorize this as well if you did it right. I'll just show you guys the bottom of it. So as you can see, it's very complicated down there. Each of these little treads, there's 4 of them. I think they take at least 50 pieces, which is ridiculous, like crazy, but there's so many pieces put in the bottom there. But anyways, all in all, nice looking set. Let's now break it down area by area. So to start, let's just actually give you a view of the very front of the vehicle. And actually, oh, okay, this is a knock about this set. Some things are a little fragile, like that just fell off. Easily fixed, as you guys saw. But anyways, let's move around, give you a little bit more view. So as you can see, that little cart's going everywhere because I flipped it upside down. There is an area where you can kind of see the droids, which is kind of cool. Some very, very nice greebling on the top. I just want to center in on certain locations a little bit more. The back, it looks awesome. So one thing I really liked about the set too is there's no stickers whatsoever. So let's open her up, and this is awesome looking. Look at this little area, control room. It's basically like the bridge of the Sandcrawler. Very, very nice looking. Has some nice little gears there. The Jawa fits in there nicely. Looks like you got the cup of Joe. Don't know if Jawas drank coffee. That's actually a good question. I don't know. But yeah, it just closes nicely. And how you kind of get to the interior, I will say this makes it a pain to kind of carry it. You want to carry it from the bottom. Do not grab the top. Why I say that is this bowl comes apart. Like, that is incredible. So for playability though, it is fantastic. Just really, really nice. And now that we have some droids and Jawas in there, so you can kind of see what it's like, I'll show you off the interior a little bit more. So very nice looking little control station. You know, it's really actually, it's well done despite it being so small. I'll flip her around and show you the other side. nothing too crazy. Now you're probably wondering what this gear is in the back. So first off, I'm gonna show you guys this. So how you access the main Sandcrawler is this just opens up and you'll notice there's that little cart there. So let's roll that thing down. It actually kind of rolls down on itself. I didn't want it to fall off the table. And what happens here is this little gear thing comes right off and it allows for some awesome little playability. So you can see it can actually literally grab these little canisters, pull them off, which is great for playability. The other thing it can even do is if you want it to pick up the droid, let's say he picks it up from in here and then he plops her down on the cart. You kind of want to have both those canisters off if you want to do that. I mean, it's cool. It's a nice little working, functioning Sandcrawler. But yeah, that pretty well does the set itself. As you can see, there's a lot of little things going on in here. It is a lot smaller, again, than the previous two Sandcrawlers, but I still think it gets the job done. And I love all these control pieces. And again, they're all printed pieces. None of them are stickers. And I just think Lego did a really good job. Has a very Star Warsy feel to it. And yeah, it gets the job done is basically what I'm saying. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. But let's now look at the minifigs. And before we get into the minifigs, one area I wanted to mention is just this top little area. I thought it was a perfect location to put like R2 and C-3PO. You can kind of make that scene where they're in the Sandcrawler. Just a little area, but I mean, I thought that was awesome. Because I was wondering, where could you stick those two minifigs if they're included? Anyways, let's now take a look at the minifigs. And here we have 3 of the 6 minifigs. So I'll give you a 360 view of them. What's actually interesting about them is these Jawas are actually different than the Jawa Battle Pack. They're not identical. Their torsos are actually different, which I found interesting. And then on the far left, we have Luke Skywalker. So I do wish that this was Owen Lars. I will be saying that a number of times in this video. We have so many Tatooine Lukes, but very few Owen Larses. Maybe even his aunt as well, right? That would be another good minifig to include. But anyways, he has 2 faces. One's unhappy. Maybe the Jawas are screwing him over. And then the one on his main face is happy. So maybe he's getting a good deal. Anyways, nice looking minifigs. Let's now get into my favorite 3 that come in this set. And why I say they're my favorite 3 is just because they're more exclusive. Again, I'm so happy that they include an R2 and a C-3PO just because you end up getting a million of those if you collect Lego. So to get the names out of the way, we have R5A2, which is right here. It's R5 droid. And then we also have the RA7, which is on the far right. And in the middle, we just have a worn medical droid. But very, very nice looking droids. I never did own, the main droid that kind of like talks to R2 in the beginning. So I'm really happy to finally get him. Medical droid that's worn is nice. And, you can't go wrong with an exclusive astromech droid. I don't believe he's been in any other set. He may have been in previous Sandcrawlers, but he is updated in this one. And he's the first one I've ever got of, that yellow droid. Anyways, those are the minifigs. Let's now get into the pictures just to see how accurate this set really is. And here's the very first picture that we'll take a look at. And I just want to say, this is such a cool picture. We get a little bit of idea what the interior looks like. I mean, we see it in A New Hope as well, right? But this was one of the few times, in fact, I think it's the only times that a Sandcrawler is shown in the prequels, and I just love it. I mean, this scene was just such a great scene from Attack of the Clones. You see 2 Sandcrawlers, so obviously you can see they are massive. The Lego one from 2018 does not do it justice size-wise at all. But you can still tell what the small one is. It's just, this is a magnificent picture. I just wanted to show it. I just love it so much. But yeah, let's now move on to the second picture. And here we have the second picture. And obviously it had to be, the Sandcrawler from when we originally saw it in New Hope. Now I do believe that this was an added, added film to the A New Hope movie. This did not come out in the 1977 version, but let me know if I'm wrong about that. It's just, that's at least what I found from my research. But anyways, you can see that it does do it accurately. You can even see that it even has that little hole where the droids can peek out. Now obviously that hole in the Lego set for the 2018 model is very oversized. I mean, it would basically be probably a 2x2 piece if they were to make it accurate, but still I like that they incorporated it. This set is not perfect, but I just believe that the model gets the job done. But if you want to go all out, try and get the UCS version. You're just going to be paying a lot of money for it, especially since it's retired. Well guys, that was my review. I do hope you enjoyed it. Honestly, looking at the pictures, looking at the set itself, I think it's actually a decent model. Now, it is definitely not as good as the previous two models. Although I will say that those cost hundreds of dollars. This one was only 140 US. Might be a little bit overpriced for what you get, but if you just want a Sandcrawler for a decent price, you don't want to spend a ton of money, I'd recommend picking this guy up. It's not quite the MTT version of like the 2014 and the 2007, where one was a $100 set and the other one was actually slightly more expensive, although you have to factor in inflation and all that. At least I believe it was. And just the one model was just so much superior to the other one, and they were around the same price point. This one's far cheaper than the previous two Sandcrawlers that have been made by like at least $100 or more. So if you want a Sandcrawler and you want it to give a decent representation of it, but you don't want something huge, definitely I'd recommend this one. If you're making a Tatooine mock and you don't want a massive Sandcrawler in it to take up a bunch of space, I'd recommend actually this one over the other ones. Now, if you just want a beautiful display piece, this is decent, but it is not UCS. Like, it just isn't. But it gets the job done is basically what I'm saying. Like, out of 1 out of 10, I rate this an 8. It has nice features, nice playability, it looks decent, nice greebling. You know, some decent looking minifigs. Again, I'm happy they didn't give you a C-3PO and R2-D2, because if you have a collection, you're gonna have a million of those guys. These are at least some unique droids. Although I wish they would have given us Owen Lars instead of Luke Skywalker, because I still don't have an Owen. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this, if you agree or if you disagree. I've probably ranted on a little bit too long. It's just, it's not a terrible set. It is not a 2014 MTT. It's just, but it's not like a 2007 MTT. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it and it will come up. But all in all, I still think it's a pretty decent set. It gets the job done. It's just not as nearly as spectacular as like the previous two Sandcrawlers we've got in the past. But yeah, again, if you like this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future Lego reviews that we do in this channel. But yeah, that's all I got for you again. But thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one.